Alright folks, today we're working on correcting the first and second question off of our EOC. So let's look at number 1 first. Which graph represents a solution set of 4 absolute value of x minus 3 is less than 0? So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to write down this on the side first. And by the way, my goal on this is to make sure I can get this in under a minute so that I can get your time. So we'll keep track of this. I'm already 20 seconds in. We'll see what happens. Remember that these can be treated like equal signs. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. These inequalities can be treated like equal signs. So we get 4 absolute value of x is greater than 3. We have 4 times this thing, so let's divide by 4. So we get absolute value of x is greater than 3/4. So I notice here that I've got about 3 points on here that are kind of important. So I'm going to test -1, 0, and 1, each of these 3, because if I can figure out if it's supposed to work, and it does work, then it's part of our solution. So -1 gives us a positive 1 for absolute, which is greater than 3/4, so it should work here. 0, absolute value of 0 is 0, which is greater than 3/4. No, it's not, so it doesn't work here. And 1, the absolute value of 1 is greater than 3/4 because the absolute value of 1 is 1, so yes, it should work here. So we're looking for a graph that has points where each of the check marks are and not in the middle. So it looks like we don't want in the middle, which is good here. We don't want the middle, so we can cross off B. We don't want in the middle, which is good here. We don't want the middle. We also want at -1, it needs to work. So at -1, it works, which is good. At -1, it doesn't work. I'll need to check that one. At -1, it doesn't work. Okay, let's look at +1. It works. It cross off. It's supposed to work here, so no. So A is the answer. All right, that's a little bit longer than it was supposed to, but I was talking out loud. Oh wait, let's look at the second one. So what inequality is represented by the set of numbers shown by this number line? So when I'm looking here, I'm thinking I could probably plug some numbers in to make this really fast. So I'm going to look at 4. When I look at 4, I know it's not supposed to work. So when I substitute it in, I'm looking for a number that does not work. So if it does work, that's bad because there's no reverse psychology on this. So let's do 4 plus 1 gives us 5. Absolute value of 5 is less than 8, so that's true. Remember, we're doing reverse psychology. It's not supposed to work, which means we're not going to use A. So let's do 4 minus 1 less than 8. So 4 minus 1 is 3, which is less than 8, which is true. Absolute value of 3 is still 3. But remember, we're doing reverse psychology. We don't want it to work here, so that doesn't work. So let's do 4 plus 1. Absolute value is less than 4. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is not less than 4, so that doesn't work, which means it's a possible solution because remember, it's not supposed to work here. This doesn't not work, so it is a possible solution. And then over here, we've got 4 minus 1 is less than 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3. 3 is less than 4, which does work, which says it's not our answer. So that says C is the only possible answer that exists by process of elimination, and that took me a little less time. Oh wait, so the reason that this works, and this is like, some of you guys are like, what? I put a number in that I know is going to give me a false answer. So I said if it's false, then that says we want it to be a false statement. So if it did work, so if it was true, then it does not work for a false statement. If I plug this 4 in and it gave me a true statement that said yes, it worked, this 4 is not in our solution set. We don't want this as part of our answer. So if it's true, that says it's not false, which means it's not the answer. Because this false value up here is not in the solution set. We want something that was false so that we want something that's not false, so that it gives us our actual answer. Because if it's not true here, so it's not untrue, then that makes it true, if that makes any sense. So not a false statement makes it a truth, which is what we want. That's why C is our answer. But doesn't make a lot of sense. Otherwise, we can try to solve these equations. So we could say absolute value of x plus 1 is less than 8. When we take out the absolute value of x plus 1 is less than 8, we also have x plus 1 is greater than -8, and then when you solve this, you'll figure out it doesn't get you the right endpoints. and the same thing for the rest of these as well. But I'm just going to plug numbers in, because plugging numbers in is always going to be faster. All right, correct these two. Make sure you have some corrections written down on your page. Make sure you have why I got it wrong, as well